capital, they come back with a loss to the Commanders 41-24. Amber Theoharis along with James Jones and Eric Allen, welcome into Raiders Game Day. I'll tell you, this was not a good performance. This is not what the Raiders want to put on film. This is not competing. Pete Carroll talks about competing. They did not do that on the road in a game where they were trying to define exactly who they are starting to be this season. Thoughts, JJ?
Yeah, it's just night and day from week one. You know, week one we came out with a lot of energy, a lot of effort, made some plays. Geno played well. And in these last two games, it's like, what kind of football we playing?
Yeah.
You know, can't move the ball, not a lot of movement on the offensive side of the ball. They running the ball down the field, over 200 yards rushing. Yeah, you know, that's tough to win. But I just don't see the same football team I seen week one these last 2 weeks.
I'm really surprised because when it gets down to it, it's about fundamentals. And when you talk about the line of scrimmage, obviously on both sides of the ball, we didn't do a very good job at protecting either one. Tackling was an issue today. Mariota seemed like he was, you know, a Hall of Fame, you know, type of player today. Just so many injuries. Austin Eckler. We didn't even talk about Austin Eckler, who's a great dual kind of threat back for Washington. He's been out. And the quarterback, obviously, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, he's not playing. So I thought this was a great chance for us to come in and kind of figure out how you respond. And when you respond with fundamentals, and we didn't have that at all today.
All right, one highlight of this game was Tre Tucker, who had a career day. He joins us now from Northwest Stadium. And Tre, first of all, I know in the locker room this must be tough because did you guys feel going into this game this was an opportunity to kind of set the tone during a stretch where you could get ahead?
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, they had the same record as us, and we obviously didn't play well Monday night. We thought we had an opportunity to come out here. We did not play clean. We need to go back to the drawing board, fix some things, and you know the main thing is just staying together. We're only 1-2.
8 catches for 145, 3 tink-tinks, big dog. That's a big-time game. But I know you, and you not probably happy with that because you guys did not get the W. How do we get that started early? You know, like we go through these spells in the offense to where we not moving the ball or we got penalty sacks. How do we get those explosive and get the offense moving early?
Yeah, I think we just, you know, throughout the week, you know, just a little more extra. And I think we do a great job throughout the week. Pete does a great job, you know, but just a little more, you know, because, you know, like we were saying, we start playing well towards the end. Well, why can't we do that at the start? So just a little more attention to detail, a little more focus, a little more discipline, and we're a really good football team if we can do that.
Tre, what was going on with the preparation this week? It just kind of seemed like from one week to another, focused on some different things, but not able to run the football effectively. What were some of the preparation things you think you need to do better next week?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just as a whole unit, everybody's got to be on the same page, which, like I said, I think we are for the most part. You know, like I said, just a little more extra of everything. You know, it's everybody. It's me. It's everybody. So no point, no fingers on anybody. At the end of the day, like I said, it's only week 3. But it's definitely something as an offense that, you know, we need to get fixed and so we can get this thing rolling because we know we're a good team.
We really do see the explosive playability from this offense that can change games. And I think the frustration comes from the lack of run game. And did it feel like coming into this week, at least from our side of things, everything coming out of the locker room, coming out of practice, coming out of Coach Carroll was, you know, we got to get the running game going a little bit more. Was that a heavy focus of this offense coming into this game and just not really able to get it going early enough?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, any week and every good team is really good at running the ball. So in order for us to do that, we have to be really good at running the ball. And like I said, we're going to have to go back and do a couple little extra things, you know, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, we do need to be able to run the ball. Because like I said, every good team can run the ball. And, you know, I think that just opens up so much other things for us.
If you had to put your finger on one thing going out there today, I mean, obviously you guys had a long traveling to the East Coast. But one thing offensively to where you could kind of come out of this game and say, man, we got to get better at that.
Man, that's a good question. I have to look at the film and see, but I think we just need to be able to, you know, the premium downs, you know, just lock in a little extra because, like I said, towards the end of the game, it was the same thing, but we were hitting them. So just a little more attention to detail on the premium downs, and you got to be able to win in this league in third down.
Well, Trey, if you continue to put up 146 yards and 3 touchdowns, I like the offensive chance. I know you guys are going to go back to the drawing board, and I know Pete Carroll is going to put a competitive team on the field against the Bears. We look forward to seeing you back home at Allegiant. Safe travels back to the West Coast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot. Look, he's not going to say it. The offensive line struggled today. I mean, mightily. And, Dylan Parham had a tough game. There's penalties on Jordan Meredith. Alex Kappa had a terrible PFF, rating in this game. So, what do you do when you see that the offense cannot get the run game going, and you also see, pass protection was terrible? How do you improve a line, JJ?
Well, number one is staying ahead of the sticks. We were in a lot of 3rd and long situations, a lot of 2nd and long situations. If we can stay ahead of the sticks, we'll be fine. And that starts with the run game. If we can get in 2nd and 5 and we can get in 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 3, the whole playbook's open. We in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12. It's not really a lot of plays you can run out of that. Later in the game, when we started hitting those, it was 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5, and we started making those. So we got to stay ahead of the sticks. You got elite pass rushers in this game. When they smell 3rd and 10,
that's what they live
3rd
for.
and 17.
They live for it.
They call it the defense themselves. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Man, like they know ears pinned back, we coming downhill. So we just got to stay ahead of the sticks.
We do. I thought the coordinators on the Washington side did a really good job preparing for us. And I'm not sure if it was the 9 days off they had, and then we're flying back there. But they had a really good preparation for this football team. I go back to, again, fundamentals, and it just seems like offensive line-wise, we need to be creative on those first downs and those early downs to figure out a way to get in those manageable situations. And we have the coaching staff and those people to do it. And we have amazing coaches. So that's what it's going to be about. How can we find a way to creatively get in situations that we are in 2nd and 1, we're able to take that shot, we're able to use reverses and use all our players. And another thing is Brock Bowers is not completely healthy, and I know he's someone who's a game changer and an impact player. Definitely need him healthy, but we need some creativity on those early downs to put us in those 3rd manageable situations.
Not only that, movement.
Yes.
Geno ain't no statue.
Yeah.
Geno can move. Geno can run. He can make plays. And I'm not saying drop back scramble. I'm saying movement. Get him outside the pocket. Run some of these keeps. Run some of these boots. Get him outside the pocket and let him make some plays. That's going to help the offensive line when the offensive line is struggling. We had so many drop back passes and they were getting pressure. Move it or run the ball.
21% on 3rd down. If you're only converting 21% of the time on 3rd down, you're not going to move the chains. And he was sacked 5 times, Geno Smith. A lot of pressure, 25 pressures allowed. So need to tighten up that protection on the offensive line. Now, on the other side, a big story of the game was Washington just ran the ball down the Raiders' defense throat. And the Raiders' defense had been good in the first 2 games against the run.
I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, they had been good against the run. And look, there was 5 different backs that had carries in this game. And look at the numbers. They ran for 201 total rushing yards. You cannot have that happen. And it wasn't, look, their best running back, Austin Eckler, is out for the season. Again, a quarterback put 40 yards on the Raiders. A backup quarterback put 40 yards on the Raiders on the ground. Justin Herbert ran against the Raiders. Drake May ran against the quarterbacks running against the Raiders continues to be a problem. But
Amber, I'm going to tell you what. On film, if the quarterback continues to run and have success at that, and we don't have those kind of film review sessions, you're like, oh, the other team's like going, oh. Until you have one of those moments where that quarterback is running and all of a sudden you're like, oh, we don't want to do that. You're going to continue to have quarterbacks mobile running down the football field on us. So we're going to have to make a point to get after these quarterbacks who are running the ball against us.
Bad formula today. 21% on 3rd down. And 200-plus rushing yards.
How many?
200 plus
you're not
rushing
going to win
yards.
a game.
So they getting us off the field, and they staying on the field toting the football. It's bad formula.
It was bad football. Like I said, it's not the tape that they want to put out there. And the Bears are coming. Caleb Williams, by the way, a running quarterback, is coming up next. But let's go out to Pete Carroll and talk about this game. Let's see what the coach has to say.
Well, this is, it looks like a real miss it bouncing back from getting back for this ball game. We did the things we thought we needed to do to get right, but we didn't play well in the first half at all. And you could see it across the board. Teams in offense and defense, we weren't physically back as much as they were. They played really well. They were strong from the beginning, and it put us behind them. But we weren't out at all, and our guys didn't feel like that. We kept. Mentally, we were okay, but physically, we just didn't seem like we made the bounce back as well as we normally do coming back after the Monday night thing. So I got to do a better job. I really, it's all three phases, so it's me. And so I've got to do a better job making sure I manage our return and so that we get on the field and we're ready to go. The guys were trying, but we just didn't quite have it like we had before. So it's there for us, and our guys know that. We stayed with it. We kept hanging. We kept trying to find a way, and their belief about it was ongoing. So I'm really happy with that. It gives us a chance to keep finding ourselves and see if we can get our game right. It was a good bounce-back game for Geno, even though he was under duress, a good part of it. He found his way and got us back on track, gave us a shot. Tre Tucker had a terrific football game for us, and it was good to see that. The kicking game was really explosive, and it looked like we were off, and so it's not scheme wise, it's just physically. I think I didn't get them right, so I'm taking this one, and I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't see it coming. And I give Danny a lot of credit too. His guys were ready to go. They played a fine football game under duress too. They've had guys that were banged up and all that, and give them a lot of credit for directing a good win. So got to get back to work.
Did you see this coming at all?
No. If I'd have known that, I'd have done something.
It's the third game where the offensive line has kind of struggled. And what do you chalk that up to, and what kind of solutions can there be out there?
Well, we have to, it turns us back to we got to balance out what we're doing so we can mix better. And we didn't run the football at all early. And then when we did, we drove the football. We made our scores. So once we got going, I thought Ashton did a really good job with his opportunities. He got a lot of carries today. It was a good ball game for him. It was tough, and he played tough and showed you how he does it. But we didn't start out well at all. We came out of the chutes, hurting. And so until we got going, you couldn't see much. But we do have to mix better so that we feel the run and the pass mix that gives us an advantage instead of feeling like we're getting knocked around.
Plays of 40 or more yards and 450 or more yards for them.
Huge plays, yeah. I mean, that's just not the football that we play, and that's what I'm saying. We have to be better because it starts right with that. If you give up big plays, you're no good, and we were no good today.
Just what went into the decision to start Oxcap at right guard over JP?
Just that it was a short week, and he just got back, and we'll give Alex a chance to go again and see how that goes. And he was available to play, but we just decided for the continuity for coming out of last week, it might be a little bit smoother, and we didn't hit any of these days this week, and so it just felt like this was a better choice to go that way. The competition goes on.
As far as Michael Mayer, just how is he doing after?
Yeah, he did have a concussion. Went through the protocol and all that. I don't know how serious it is. We'll find out.
You said not bouncing back from the Monday night game. Do you think physically, mentally, all of it?
Well, it looked like that. That's what it felt like. It felt like we did not get back. We had a terrific practice on Thursday, and it felt like that we had bounced. And so we adjusted to make sure to get to game time, knowing that these guys, they were going to have all the rest that they needed, and we needed to get as rested as we could and make sure that we would be strong and ready to go. But it didn't work out. And if it did, you'd have seen it. So I didn't handle that as well as I need to.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Raiders Game Day is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Modelo, a reward for those with a fighting spirit. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. And by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. For more perspective on what happened on the field, let's go out to Raider Nation Radio's Jason Horowitz, who called the game. And I know, Jason, this was a tough one to call, from special teams and all the gaffes there, to the lack of run defense, to the lack of moving the chains and the pass protection for the offense. I mean, all across the board, how can you sum up what went wrong today?
Disappointing. I mean, you could say that from any aspect of the game, right? I mean, right from the get-go, a 70-yard kickoff return that Deebo Samuel almost takes for a touchdown, and then, Marcus Mariota used his legs to score. And so you get that, and Commanders are moving the ball up and down the field. It was a nice response by the defense, forced a fumble. Thomas Booker never gave up on that that forced fumble in the first quarter, and, they did get Matt Gay to miss a field goal, so they hung around even though they were getting beaten on a regular basis in the first half. But you could take any aspect of this game and say, hey, how did that happen? And I think that's exactly what they're going to have to figure out, because Ben Johnson and the Bears are coming to town next week. And, despite the fact of how they've played, they have a very capable offense as well.
My brother, from week 1 to week 3 now, we look like a totally different football team. From calling these games,
Agreed.
What is something that you can, put your finger on and say, from week 1, it's totally different now these last 2 weeks, that we did well in week 1 and we're not doing well now?
Well, I think it's two things, and I don't know, if there's a percentage that you could put on this, but not having a healthy Brock Bowers plays a role in this offense, guys. And Kirk Morrison has talked about it throughout the course of the broadcast on Monday against the Chargers, and then again today throughout the broadcast. Defenses are playing this team differently when Brock Bowers is not a threat to go for 50 yards. And I think that plays a major factor as to what is different from week 1 to now, because the reality was Geno Smith was under duress week 1 as well. He was sacked 4 times. Harold Landry, I think, had 2.5 sacks week 1. So you go from that to Monday night, where the Chargers had 3 sacks, to today, where the Commanders had 5. That part of it, at least time-wise, hasn't really changed a whole lot. But the weaponry has. So, other than having the time to get him healthy, which I don't know how you do that because the bye's not until the end of October, they're going to have to figure out how to protect Geno better and find guys open a little bit faster.
You've been around here. You've seen the struggles of this offensive line for the last couple of years. Is it anything that you can see that's different, that's a positive in this offensive line?
That's a tough one, EA, because you're coming off a season where statistically the team had the worst rushing offense in the NFL, and now you're 3 games into a 17-game season, and the team hasn't been able to run for 70 yards yet. Now, today, again, I think there was some more of that as the game wore on and some late carries down the stretch here. But it has been tough sledding to run the football, and it's been tough today, certainly, to protect for Geno Smith. So I want to say yes, because today was certainly better than Monday, and it was better than week 1. But I'm not sure the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, and until that tightens up, they're not going to get the run game going, and the play-action pass isn't going to work. And a lot of things to work on before the Bears come to town, but we appreciate the perspective. Jason Horowitz, get back safely. We'll see you back here in Vegas.
All right, Jay.
See you guys.
Hold on.
Take care, guys.
He was the best ever.
Double.
All right, well, I'll tell you one of the things we haven't talked about much, and I know Jason broke down a couple of the issues. We keep harping on the offensive line. We've talked about the run defense, but special teams really has some work to do.
Wow.
And starting off the game to give up a 69-yard kickoff return to Deebo Samuel, that's the second time in a row, second week in a row, the opposing team has started their first drive with the ball inside of the 30. They're almost in the red zone.
Yeah.
And that's not how you get out. And they did capitalize on it. And then we saw Jalen Lane, the rookie, in the third quarter. He has a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown, the kid out of Virginia Tech. The average starting position for the Commanders today was their own 46-yard line. They're almost getting the ball at the 50 every drive. It is very difficult to defend that. Not that, we're making excuses for the defense, but that is tough to defend.
Right, and it goes back to fundamentals. I mean, when you go on a away trip, there's a couple things that have to travel. Special teams is one of those things. You have to play good special teams if you want to be a competitive football team in this league, and you don't have all the, the other aspects of a great football team, like a dominant quarterback or a dominant defense. Special team has to travel. You have to be able to tackle. You have to be able to run the football. The Raiders are not doing any of those things relatively well right now. We're going to continue to struggle until we do.
Yeah, we got beat in every phase today.
Yeah.
Right? Usually they say kickoff and punt is the first play of defense.
Yeah.
Go down there and tackle. We did not tackle on special teams or defense.
That's right.
Then they say to win the game, you got to block. We did not block on offense at all. We were struggling blocking them all game long. And you could say a lot of things, could have did this, could have did that, but EA's right, man. It comes down to fundamentals. It's a dude right in front of you, block him. Win your one-on-one matchups. Go down there and tackle the guy. We didn't do none of that getting off the bus today, and that's why we struggled, and that's why they were able to have so much success running the ball and scoring points.
And look, they're going to have a lot of time to think about it. It is a long flight back to Vegas, roughly 5 hours, and then got to turn around and get ready. That's the worst. I've been on those flights before. They're very difficult. We've all been on them.
Quiet too.
Time to reflect and bounce back and get ready for the Bears. All right, when we come back, Geno Smith is going to be talking to the press. We'll hear what he has to say. Coming up next, right here on Raiders Game Day, the Raiders lose 41-24 in Washington. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day as the Raiders fall to 1-2 with the loss in Washington. Geno Smith was facing reporters after the game. Let's go out and hear what he has to say. Here's Geno.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Geno. Geno, in your thought process, what do you think happened today?
Without watching the film, I feel like we just didn't do enough in any phase of the game. Offense, defense, special teams, I felt like we gave them too much. We were tied up early on, and there was a chance for us to really take control of the game, and then I felt like we let it get away from us. And then second half, coming out and not getting points, and then they go and get points, kind of make it a two-score game, and then, from there, it just kind of got away from us. So I feel like there's not one point of our game that we can't get better at. I think there's a lot of things that we could have done better today.
Were you ever able to get comfortable? I mean, it looked like from the first play you're running for your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's football, and it's going to, be like that sometimes. I mean, they have a good defense and a lot of good guys on that side. Hats off to them. They played a great game. But I felt like we made our plays, throughout the game, but just wasn't consistent enough. And that's where I felt like we sputtered, throughout the game. And then we had some big plays, and then we had some drives that didn't look right. So I put that on me. I put the onus on me, and I got to get better and be better for my guys.
This is a franchise that is trying to build a new culture. In the past, these are moments where maybe things go a little sideways. As a leader of this team, what becomes the stress point of making sure that doesn't happen?
No, nothing's going sideways. It's week 3 in the NFL, and we got a long season ahead of us. It's never easy to lose a game. You want to win all of them, but that's not the reality. And so the reality is that we're faced with a battle in front of us. And as a quarterback, as a football player, I look forward to the challenges, and we're embracing that as a team and as a locker room. Each guy in this locker room is going to stick together and going to stand beside his fellow teammate and do what's right. And so, that's where we're at with it. There's no separation here. There's no one going to point the finger. If anything, point the finger at me, and we'll get it fixed.
In terms of things that didn't go right, Ashton looked like you got untracked a little bit, and then Tre Tucker, obviously, the bond between you and him continues to build. Is that something to build on?
Yeah, there's a lot that we can build on, but again, man, the game's about winning, and that's all. And so there's no moral victories. There's nothing that I can say that I feel good about because we lost the game. I just know the type of team that we have. I believe in the type of guys that we have. I believe in the Raider Nation. I know that we can get this thing headed in the right direction, and that's what I'm focused on. I really want to, get back to work. I can't wait to get back to work so we can solve these problems and come out next week with a new enthusiasm.
You may have addressed this already, but Pete Carroll said earlier he took the blame for not sort of the bounce back from Monday night to this game. Do you feel like sort of physically or mentally that wasn't what it should have been, that turnaround?
No, I'll take the blame for it. Coach wasn't out there playing. He didn't make any plays out there. It was, I was out there quarterbacking, and I could have done a better job to, extend some drives or, make some better plays, make some better checks so that we can go out there and we can win the game. We didn't put up enough points. That's the reality. As an offense, we got to be able to go out there and score. Just about every time we touch it, that's got to be our mindset. And so I didn't do enough today. I didn't get us there, and you can put it on me, not Coach.
When you guys tied it up 10-10, that was a pretty good drive running the ball. How important do you think it's going to be for you guys to establish the run, have success going forward?
Extremely important, extremely important. But more importantly, we got to dominate the line of scrimmage. We got to own the line of scrimmage. That's football in a nutshell. If you can win the line of scrimmage, you can win a lot of games. If you can win the line of scrimmage, control the turnover battle, get first downs, convert in the red zone, be great in situations, you can win a lot of games. And so, it's a lot of things that we can do better. But I look forward to getting it right.
Obviously, your running back had a lot of success last year in college. Is there anything that you kind of work with him and just, I know it's coming slowly now. Is there anything that you've been talking to Ashton about?
Yeah, just sticking with it. It's not college. That's the reality. And, it's the big boy league, and it's going to be tough every week. There is no cupcakes. There is no lollipops. It's big boy football week in and week out. And we've got to help him be, all around him. We've got to be better so that he can go out there and show what he can do, because he can do it. He showed it in the NFL. He can do it, man. He's running guys over, making guys miss. We just got to open up space for him. I got to get some better checks, get some better run calls so that he can go out there and showcase what he's capable of.
What was working with Tucker?
Tre's a great player. Again, man, we he gave us maximum effort today. But again, we're not here for moral victories. We didn't win the game. That's all that matters. We got to get back to work.
That's good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'll tell you one thing. It's nice to have the leadership and the accountability. That's
Without
the
a
thing that
doubt.
sticks out.
Without
No
a doubt.
finger pointing. We weren't good enough. You like to hear that. It makes you have faith that that's somebody that's going to come back and really try to right this ship. He didn't have a lot of time to throw today, but where could Geno have been better? I know you noticed a lack of a snap count.
Yeah, when your offensive line is struggling, you should use your cadence, switch up the snap count. That's to our advantage, right? Go on 2, go on 3. Go on some hard snap counts. I never really see Geno Smith change the snap count up. I think we could do better at that. And then not only that, you're athletic, brother. Mm-hmm. Run. Run. When you know automatically, man, hey, he's struggling right now at the tackles. They're struggling protecting me. Run, escape the pocket, get outside the pocket. If the coach don't want to move you, you extend the plays. We all know in a football game, it's very, very rare you drop back and say, this is how we draw it up. Mm-hmm. 90% of the plays are off-scripted. The quarterback getting outside the pocket, making plays, doing it. Geno's really good at that. Get outside the pocket. You're extremely average and make some plays with your legs.
And to piggyback off that, for a defensive mindset, if you're going on the same snap count over and over, that gives me a chance as a defender, if I'm in the box, to get off just a little bit faster, right? So now we can tell the time our pressure's up a little bit. And so now when we are attacking the quarterback and you're not getting outside the pocket, using your legs to really extend the play and run, that's better for me. If you're just gonna sit in the pocket, now we can send those blitzes in the A-gap on a delayed kind of blitz because our edges are getting off the ball so fast because you're ready, set, hike. Ready, set, hike. Ready, he's not going to change the snap count? Oh, I'm about to get after this tackle right here.
Yeah.
Just really, it's an opportunity for this experienced coaching staff to give him the availability to be able to change it up at the line of scrimmage.
And doesn't it feel like in general, at times there need to be more up-tempo? There need to be more pace to the offense. Getting rid of the ball quickly would have been nicer. Hold on to the ball for a long time, obviously trying to make something happen. But I think the key is Ashton Jeanty. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. You're not going to play the type of offense that Chip Kelly wants to play and is scheming for if you can't run the football. And in the second quarter, we saw that one nice drive where he had 36 yards out of his, 60-some yards.
Yeah.
Half of his production was in one drive. But then other drives, it was nothing, stuffed at the line of scrimmage. So am I making it too simple that if they don't get Ashton going and get that offensive line able to create opportunities for him, it's going to be difficult for Geno Smith in passing situations?
Yeah, and that's going to be tough on the O-line too, because when you talk about the ability of not being able to run the ball, they going to pin their ears back to come get the passer. If you got to worry about Jeanty, it naturally slows you down too. And then not only that, running the ball with Jeanty is going to keep us ahead of the sticks.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to pin your ears back too when it's 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
The reality is right now, defenses, and as a Hall of Fame defender, if you don't think Ashton Jeanty, your running back, is going to hurt you, and if you don't think your star tight end is 100% and he's going to hurt you, that really puts the Raiders at a disadvantage. So until they can get both of them going, and I know Jason Horowitz mentioned that, I mean, as a defender, you're like, okay, number 1 and number 2 threat are not much of a threat right now.
Right. So we can really devise a plan around really attacking your quarterback, right? If your running game is not going to really be a situation that's going to harm us, we're really going to figure out a way to pressure your quarterback, make him make mistakes, keep him contained in the pocket. And as you see on the outside, they're doing a great job, the defensive backs on the opposing team, and just playing sticky coverage on the outside. The times when we're able to make explosive plays is basically Tre running away from cornerback, using his athleticism. It's not about the scheme or, max protection. It's about he's faster than the DB, he runs by you, and you have an opportunity to make a play. So it all starts up front. I think we all understand that and know that. This team needs to find a way to either max protect, find a way to get the offensive line playing better and having some confidence.
But not only that, though, Ashton Jeanty, you got to give him some volume now.
Yeah.
You got to give him some volume. First, second down, you got to let him run the ball. If you watched him in college last year, his most explosive runs came in that third and fourth quarter. Because he's wearing people down.
Yeah.
And I know it's grown men out there. We've been out there with the grown men. I know they stronger. But we got to see.
Yes.
You drafted him this high for a reason. You got to give him a workload to see, can he wear these dudes down when it comes to the third, fourth quarter?
Man, that's a great point. And no matter what league you're playing in, not everyone has game endurance. There's guys out there who are phenomenal. Not everyone's Max Crosby. Not everyone's going 100% all the football all the time, right? So that's another area in space that you can, if you continue to give him the rock, some guys run out of gas. Yeah. It's just the way they go about it, And some guys are 100% all the time. So you have to figure out which football teams you're able to run him with and 20 carries or whatever, and be able to give him opportunities to make plays and also utilize him in the pass game. All right, much more to break down. We're going to step aside here on Raiders Game Day. The Raiders lose this 141-24 to the Washington Commanders. They are now 1-2. More to come. Stick with us. Intermountain Health understands that life can be a challenging game, and mental wellness is vital to our overall health. It takes courage to admit when we're not okay, and even more to reach out. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, call or text 988 or visit strongestplay.com for mental wellness resources. Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And by Twitch, watch, discover, join in. Welcome back. We always like to hear what some of the experts and analysts out there are saying about the game, bring them to you. Take a look at Voice of the Nation. We check out Raider Nation's tweet. Uh-oh.
Here's JT the Brick.
You got to do it in JT.
Great drive. Very strong Tre Tucker. Nice work by Ashton and Geno. That's my JT impression. It was. Look, that was early on. Tre Tucker had a wonderful day. Here's Levi Edwards from Raiders.com. Thomas Booker might have just made the best play of his young career. JJ loved that one, seeing a defensive lineman run downfield and force the fumble when the quarterback had escaped like Marcus Mariota did. And then take a look at this one, Paul Gutierrez. Poor tackling. He should have been down 3 times. That's actually Kirk Morrison that was saying that. He's referring to Chin Roberts, White, Crosby, all made contact. And this is the play that he's talking about. This was really hard to watch. Should have been down. Hit by 4 different Raiders. And Jeremy McNichols, again, not Saquon Barkley, not Austin Eckler. Jeremy McNichols did that. And they had Jeremy Chin, the former commander, ironically. The safety was in the box to stop the run. And I think that's where you kind of just felt like this wasn't going to go the Raiders' way.
Watching that, I need to take it easy on my kids.
Yeah.
Because I scream at my little kids right now. He can't go nowhere without his legs. Shoot his legs. Take his legs. Why are we hitting this boy up high?
Hey, but the running backs,
out.
but the running backs over there being coached too. JJ, the running backs over there being coached. Drop that pad level.
Yeah.
Keep those legs running. We're gonna break that play down later on today.
Yeah, but I just don't understand how that many people made contact. Jeremy Chin was the first one. I mean, did what he was supposed to do. He made contact. The safety's supposed to stop the run there. It wasn't able to, and that was a huge play. What was it, 60 yards for a touchdown? And that was kind of the story, not being able to stop the run. 200 yards. Anytime a team puts 200 yards on you, you're not going to win the game. But ironically, the Raiders won the time of possession battle, and they won the turnover battle. Rarely does that happen. We're going to break it down more. We're going to take a break here on Raiders Game Day as the Raiders drop to 1-2 in our nation's capital. EA, JJ going to weigh in next. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. The Raiders lose this one to the Washington Commanders 41-24. They dropped to 1-2, and fundamentals, tackling was one of the issues, but also on offense, a highlight was Tre Tucker having a big day to break down both sides of the ball. Let's send it over to JJ and EA. What's up, guys?
All right, here we go, Amber. And again, it's all about fundamentals. You know what? About 7 or 8 years ago, it was this thing called hawk tackle. It was how Pete Carroll changed the way we tackled in the National Football League. I remember showing my little kids about how they tackle, right? You start off on one knee and get it done. We didn't do that right here today. And we're going to show you some just missed opportunities here. The edge, how many times we talk about the edge? Okay, if I'm on the edge, I got to make sure, man, this quarterback cannot get on the edge and make those great plays because we know he's a scrambling quarterback. So that's one more time. Again, fundamentals, the edge, edge, edge. So important, putting that defensive player in conflict, and they won that battle. We have to get better on covering the edge. Then we started talking about the line of scrimmage, fundamentals. Who's winning the line of scrimmage? Look at that. He's not getting touched. He's at a second or third level.
We got
you
9
can't
dudes
have
up
that. You can't have that. So the Red Scale, the Commanders were doing that duel, having that double team, and then kicking off to that second level. Look at that. Running back just running through, not even being touched. You get to the second and third level. And this is the one I'm most disappointed about. Because after everything, you roll your guy in the box. If I'm a DB and I'm a tackling guy and I roll myself into the box, man, I want this. I want to get that right there, wrap those legs up, put him down, and then have everybody come and punch the ball. They did a great job by giving us different looks, but they were physical at the point of attack, and they beat us in fundamentals today on defense. Look at that. He's just bouncing off. Everybody getting a little piece. This young fella finishing the playoff like he's supposed to do. We did not have a fundamentally sound football game.
I don't even want to talk offense today after watching that right there.
But we have some good stuff on offense. I'll give you the good stuff.
Well, yeah, we did have some good stuff on offense, man. And we did some good stuff early, but we didn't do it often.
Right.
We have to be more consistent offensively. But a consistent dude out there today was Tre Tucker. You see Tre Tucker coming out on the shallow cross right here. Why does this play work right here? Geno Smith buys a little bit of extra time. Slides in the pocket, delivers the ball to Tre Tucker. Big time play. We're able to tie this game up. I love how we got in the stack formation. We got in the stack formation, forced them to talk, forced them to communicate. Geno extend the play. That's how you get explosive plays in this game. Bunch formation, right? Force these guys to communicate. Yeah, you know, y'all got to go in and out, in and out, in and out. Hey, match it, whatever you got to do. Geno Smith stepping up in the pocket, delivering to Tre Tucker on another shallow route.
Right.
You don't got to get super tricky. It don't got to be all these shot plays down the field to score touchdowns. Good protection, get the ball out of your hands, get in some different formations, force those other teams to communicate. Now we're going to spread you out. All right? We got speed. We got speed. We got speed. Let's go downhill. Geno Smith, clean pocket, deliver ball. Tre Tucker, that's money. We jogging into the end zone. But we need to do this more consistent because you know what will help that run game?
What's that?
Is if we score points.
What kind of route is this?
That's that little nod route. You see the little nod at the top? We're going to run at you. We're going to nod like we're about to go on that corner, and we're going back to the pylon, to the post. But if we can have explosive plays in the pass game and score points, they're one-dimensional. they can't run the ball, we ain't got to tackle as much.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So we'll help you. You help me. Back to you, Amber.
Score points. I'm going to write that one down. It's good advice. All right, time now for one big number. Check this out. We keep talking about offensive line pass protection. Geno Smith threw the ball 29 times. 25 of those times, he was pressured. Only 4 times did he throw the ball without any pressure in his face. He was also sacked 5 times. We combine that with the first 2 weeks. He's been hit a lot, and we don't want to keep harping on this, but it's hard to have a passing game when your quarterback is pressured quite that much. And I imagine that there's going to be a lot of work as far as pass protection and coming up with new ways to make sure Geno Smith doesn't get hit.
Can I ask you a question about that? So if we're having difficulty protecting, can we change the passing game to a quick passing game so now the rush is not getting there? How can we have success in that?
We can change it to quick, but once you change it to quick, now they sitting in cover 2. And now they're going to force you to run the ball. So you could change it to some quick game, but we're going to have to run the ball.
All right.
And you know what? Geno Smith make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Make a lot of money. All right. Them linemen probably like, man, it's steak 48 out here. It's all these steakhouses out here. You ain't took us out to eat yet.
Yeah, he has.
Is it just a little
You know what he has. Our guy Geno has.
Sometimes you got to bribe a little bit.
I'm sure.
Sometimes you got to bribe a little
Smith
bit.
is taking. Look, we know what Geno Smith is capable of. We see the big plays. We saw the explosive plays in week 1. We saw them in week 3. They were there as well. It's just getting some consistency with the run game, getting the underneath throws, the small throws, and not getting hit can really get this offense going with the run game as well. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to look ahead for the Raiders as they look to get back against the Bears. They have a stretch. Got some hope coming up here. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back as the Raiders lose this one. The good news is they come back home to Allegiant next week. They get to face the Bears, a team that has yet to win a game. Let's take a look at the schedule coming up here next. They've got the Bears at home, and then week 5, they got to go to Indy. Look, Indy's kind of been a surprise team with Daniel Jones. Not easy. Not to say the Bears are easy. Ben Johnson is for real, knows what he's doing. Can't underestimate them. And then Tennessee has struggled as well. You have to imagine, Tennessee hasn't won a game yet. You have to imagine, you can win 2 out of 3, if not 3 out of 3 of those, and have an opportunity to get back on track. The Raiders 1-2. It's very early in the season, and I think the good news is that we saw some glimpses of what can be. Like, we've seen that this offense has some potential. Just need to tighten up a couple things.
We just got to get consistent.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Get consistent. Whether it's tackling, whether it's good on third down, we just got to be consistent. Move the ball, take what's there. We have to be consistent. We do that. All them games is winnable. We can win all those games.
I think so too. Back to fundamentals. I expect if you go out to practice this week, there's going to be a heavy dose of tackling, heavy dose of blocking, running, all those things that you do in Pop Warner is going to be done out here. Pete's going to be chewing that gum. He's going to be excited. Yes, there's going to be some W's coming back into the building.
And I think that's the key. Pete Carroll is the coach of this team.
Yes.
Pete Carroll turns things around. And look, nobody thought in an instant everything was going to be perfect and turned around. Right. But you have to have faith, and this is a little different than years past. You have faith in what Pete Carroll has done because he's done it before. And you have to know they're going to go back to the drawing board and come out ready for the Bears at home at Allegiant. We're looking forward to seeing you guys out there. For Eric,
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, Amber.
I'm Amber Theoharis, Raiders Game Day. We'll see you next time, guys.